So apparently Gen Z is bringing back the 2000s, and I don't know how I feel about it. If that decade was a person, it would be this lovely woman I found in an episode of Next. Fashion wasn't really on our side, and how can we forget Christina Aguilera's hair that spread like a venereal disease on every girl's head, including mine. But that wasn't the only ugly and unattractive thing we all experienced in the 2000s. Our thoughts and opinions were very twisted back in the day. Do you want an example? How about how the world collectively clowned on a couple of seemingly in love individuals, but the target wasn't equalized. The critics were fixated on the female in the equation. Her 51-year-old partner was labeled by some as a dude who won the jackpot. Meanwhile, his girlfriend was the money-hungry, attention-seeking gold digger. All of this while still being 16. As in every video, the links are going to be in the description so you can check them out unadulterated by my opinion. And don't forget to subscribe and give the video a like. It really helps. Now, don't get me wrong, there were a lot of reasonable, mature people pointing the finger at Doug, the husband, calling him a groomer, and the parents as well were heavily criticized and labeled as selling their daughter for money. But the media was focused on Courtney and her unusual behavior while in a relationship with her now, thankfully, ex-husband. Courtney Alexis Stodden was born in Tacoma, Washington on August 29 of 1994. Her family later moved to Ocean Shores in the same state and remained there. Her parents, who I will name by their names, Krista K. Keller and Alex John Stodden, gave Courtney and her two sisters a fantastic childhood. They were loved and well educated. Courtney showed a passion for music and entertainment from a very young age, which was backed by her parents. I guess the problem came during her teenage years. Her body started to change and people noticed that. Creepy dudes, to be specific. She was stalked and bullied at school because of her looks. At 12, she looked way older, making her a target for critics and attacks. It got so bad that at 16, someone yanked her arm so hard it fractured. Her mom immediately took her out of school and never looked back. Courtney was homeschooled for the rest of her educational years. Her big break came when she participated in Miss Teen Washington. Courtney had the spotlight on her, so she wanted to make something good out of it. She enrolled in an acting class organized by a professional where a new life was waiting for her, whether she liked it or not. Doug Hutchinson is a known actor that participated in many box office films and also owns the Dark Water production company. He decided to open an acting workshop, offering the opportunity to sign up online. Doug noticed Courtney's solicitation and profile picture and was very interested. Now, granted, he didn't know her age at the time. The two started chatting until it became romantic. Months later, they met in person, and that's when the problem began. He was in his 50s, while Courtney was 16. Courtney talked to her mother, a mother that knew this famous actor was romantically involved with her underage daughter. And again, while Doug had no idea Courtney was a teenager, Krista did nothing to stop that relationship when it was growing. Talked to her daughter about the dangers of an adult seeking romance in someone way younger than them, or talk to Doug and ask him what was he thinking and clarify her daughter's age so he could just back off. You know, protect her daughter from potential danger? Krista decided that her 16-year-old daughter was old enough to choose to pursue a relationship with someone 30 years her senior. The relationship lasted less than a year when Doug popped the question to Courtney. So you have to be 18 years old to get married, but younger people can still marry if the parents are backing up the relationship, and that's exactly what happened here. By now, the media was losing their minds because of the age difference, but as I remember, everything shifted lanes when Courtney and Doug were interviewed, and her behavior was disturbing.
The way they tell it, Doug and Courtney's love story began when Doug, living in Los Angeles amidst the wreckage of 2 failed marriages and 1 serious drinking problem, hit rock bottom. All the while, Courtney's mom, Krista, had been monitoring their exchanges, fully aware that Doug had decades over her young daughter.
So she said, I can feel my daughter's love for you. You know, you guys can get married if you want. People are welcome to their opinions. That's what the world is about. If they need to feel this way, that's theirs to hold, not ours.
After that, everyone was clowning her over this. My guess is that she was the unhinged one in the interview while Doug looked calm and composed. The way the media obsessed their negative attention over Courtney was a thing to research. But the behavior Courtney expressed in that interview had a reason, and that reason was probably the parents. To them, Doug was their piggy bank, and it's pure speculation. But it is said Doug paid them a good sum of money to surrender their daughter to him. That marriage was a transaction, and Courtney needed to follow instructions. Again, pure speculation, but it kind of makes sense. The mother is a piece of work, someone that was living through her daughter. And just so you know the type of mother Krista was, here's a clip from a reality show where they were discussing her daughter's marriage.
To sunshine.
I have it recorded of you
Okay.
in my husband's Jeep
Okay.
saying, I think about you sexually all the time. You also then started joking and saying, well, what about, have you ever thought about like a mother-daughter thing?
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. Isn't the first guy who tried to do this to
There was a 17-year-old. Listen.
I want to give this a rest.
See what I mean? By the way, no idea if she got a divorce or she's just a horny lady. I mean, according to Courtney, mom had disturbing interactions with ex-boyfriends, so yeah. But here's another person who got involved in all of this. Nobody called her, nobody knew who she was, but she for sure inserted herself in Courtney's life in the most pathetic and disgusting way. Who am I talking about? Chrissy Teigen. She, in a way, is the representation of everyone's opinion back in the day, only she took it to the extreme. Chrissy harassed her throughout Courtney's social media, and it was disgusting, especially because she was an adult harassing a teenager, a victim of grooming. It all came to light when Chrissy said she was going to leave Twitter because she could not block all the negativity. That's when Courtney called her a hypocrite and exposed all her past tweets to her. Chrissy apologized to everyone, but Courtney. Chrissy blocked her on Twitter where she issued her apology to her. And Courtney, of course, posted this on her Instagram. For sure, Chrissy is an interesting character. But moving on with Courtney and the marriage. After 2 years, the couple told the media they were getting separated. And they made it legal by signing a document in 2013. Weirdly enough, they kept living together. A year later, they changed their minds, got back together, and they were expecting a baby 2 years later. Courtney lost the pregnancy, but still the couple renewed their wedding vows. 2017 and another separation. Again, they were still living together. But the next year was the beginning of the end. Courtney filed for divorce and it was finalized in 2020. She wanted nothing of him. By the way, she didn't want spousal support. She just wanted to run away. Courtney later talked about how she was groomed by Doug and also taken advantage of. Doug talked back at this, saying Courtney had contacted him before the interview and that for some reason was a rebuttal of him not being a groomer. I hate this guy. In 2021, she got engaged to a filmmaker who was in his late 40s. They call it quits this year. What a mess. If all of this would have happened today, Doug wouldn't be able to go outside without a group of people calling him a pedo. I'm just so impressed by how every single adult in her life betrayed her. Oh, I forgot this detail. Her dad disowned her because she got a divorce from Doug. Mom was competing with her. Doug was using her looks and youth. Chrissy was harassing her for some reason, and the public was calling her a weird, gold-digging attention whore. She had no control over her life. Her mom was the manager until Doug took control of her. But now that she's free, she's still seeking validation from older men. Her teenage years were so explosive, they changed her perception of adulthood and how an adult should behave. I hope Courtney is in therapy so all of these contained emotions she couldn't express can be freed and resolved. And for sure, she deserves the biggest apology from everyone who in the 2000s forgot how a victim looks like. Before you leave, give the video a thumbs up if you liked it or a thumbs down if you didn't, and tell me why in the comments. And now that you're here, subscribe to the channel. You are more than welcome here. Thank you for watching.